Okay, part two of restored quadrajet reassembly. This is one I'm assembling for a customer. It's from a 1970 GTO. Everything has been replated in correct factory coloring. So as you can see, the body's in its a little hard to see in this light, but it's goldish, olive drabish color. All the linkage and everything has been replated in yellow chromate. The screws are in black chromate. And this is the butterflies and small pieces and little bits and bobs are in nickel. So when we left in part one, we were just finishing putting the power piston in. We put it in, and then what you're going to do, you're going to tamp on each side to hold that in, hold this little ring in. So when you start it, engine vacuum is going to pull this down. It's going to send those needles down into the jets and give you your amount of fuel you're going to need at idle. As your idle speed increases, the vacuum decreases, and this comes up until the needles are fully out of the jets. Doesn't seem like a whole lot, doesn't seem like there's much travel, but there actually is. And in the grand scheme of things, it, adds a lot of power. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put your accelerator pump in. Put the spring in, down in the well, and then install your pump. And here's the pump. You're going to want to always replace it with a blue one. These blue ones stand up to the ethanol that's in today's fuels. Now you might think, well, I don't use ethanol in my fuel, I use ethanol free. There is no such thing as ethanol free. All fuel has ethanol in it. The government lies to you. Usually what I like to do is I'll just shave the top of this right here, just like a 30-second, maybe 2, and that will give you just a little bit more volume in your accelerator pump well so you can get a stronger shot. Just a little bit for some performance, especially if you've gotten a build-up engine that you're going to need a little more fuel for. And once you got your pump in, just give it a few little thrusts and listen. Hear that? Pull, pull, pull. That's what you want to hear. That means all your passages is clear, and you're going to get a nice strong shot. So now's the time to put this all together. Put the lid on. All right, make sure you have your top gasket. Make sure it's not binding up on your power piston. And then what you're going to do is line up your air bleed tubes to these 4 holes here. And then just drop it on in. One quick thing, the spring that's under here, you're going to want to put a new one in. Over time, that spring loses some of its elasticity, gets thinner. If you're doing a rebuild, just replace it while you have it out. All right. Now we'll put the top on, and we'll keep going from there. All right. There we go. Now it's starting to look like a carburetor again, instead of a big pile of parts. Okay. So slide it on. Make sure make sure your accelerator pump stem comes up through. Your air tubes line up down into the body, and the air horn sits flush. You shouldn't be able to wiggle it at all. There's 2 little alignment tabs here. Should just drop right on. That'll hold it in place. So next thing you want to do is take your accelerator pump arm, hook it onto your accelerator pump rod, and it's going to go in here, and then you're going to insert a roll pin and just tap it in. So let me put that together, since don't have 4 arms and can't do everything at once. So just hold on, and I will set this up and show you. Okay, I just got it set up. Hook your accelerator pump arm on through the rod. You're going to want to go in the 2nd hole. Not that one, that one. This piece right here, your roll pin will just slide through it, which will allow you to line up this arm pretty easy. It's not going to bind. So you should be able to just slide it through. You'll slide it through the arm, and then you'll feel it hit here. And then you're just going to want to take a little tiny, like, roll pin punch or small screwdriver or something, and just give it a tap until this roll pin is flush. Sorry. Till this roll pin is flush with this. Do not hit this. This is very thin. It's zinc and it's really porous, really soft, and you'll break it. If you break it, there is a piece that will go through and act as a replacement, but this is a restoration and I would rather not do that. So be very careful when you're putting this pin in. And there you go. Seated. Sticking out a little bit on the other end. The tip is on top of your accelerator pump stem. Just give it a little, move it just a little bit. Okay. You definitely want to have the air horn bolted on before you try moving it, because otherwise the air horn is going to move around. Getting a little ahead of myself here. All right, let's bolt the air horn down and we'll keep going. Okay, to start, you have 2 flathead screws that go down in there. And there's these 2, that one, those 2. And last but not least, this one, which doesn't get put in yet because there is a vent valve that has to go there and a cover that is held on by that screw. We'll do that last. That's the last screw you tighten anyway. When you put these together, you want to torque them, tighten them up in a specific order. You want to start with these 2, then these 2, then these 2, then these 2, then that one, and then you want to go back and just tighten these up again, because the air horn's going to flex a little bit, and as this whole thing's tightened, it'll pull it down more. Then you just want to snug those 2 up, and then just go around one more time and just double check your torque. All right, moving on. All right, vent valve in place, cover on. Moving on to the secondaries. You got your secondary rod hanger. Your secondary rods are down in the car. One little footnote. This screw right here, this little one right here, is the exact same size thread and pitch as the screws that hold your throttle plates together. So if you happen to lose that and have some extras for your throttle plate, that'll work in a pinch. So you just tighten that up. Not too tight. You don't want to go crazy. Remember, this metal is really soft, so you do not want to go like complete ham on it. So if you're one of those people that assemble something and be like, oh, Mungo smash, no. gentle touch on all this. You don't want to over torque it and warp it, break off a screw, because for some reason, despite this metal being very soft, if something breaks off in it, it is the worst thing in the world to try to drill it out. So don't do it. Just save yourself some aggravation. Okay, secondary lockout cam. Yeah. When your engine's cold, choke is shut, and the rod pushes this little lockout. So if you try to open your secondaries, it's not going to go anywhere. Once this choke's fully opened, the rod comes back, and voila. Works like a charm. Okay, here's where the fun begins. This is your choke cam link. Just for a little size comparison. That's about how big it is. About the tip of your finger. And these, like many small things and children, will give you the biggest headache of your life. So what you do is take it and you slide it right down in this hole, little passageway there. Drop it down in there. And what you're going to do, you're going to try to shake it until you see it. You can see part of it right there. And then get it in the hole and lined up so you can drop your choke linkage in. Okay. So now, once you get your link in, drop your choke assembly in. Make sure your fast idle arm moves free. Make Make sure your choke link moves free. And then you just drop your little screw in there and tighten it up. All right, now it's time to put this link in, which links that cam to your butterfly. And if you look down in there, you can see it. You can see it move when we actuate the choke. And there's a little hole in there. You want to slide this down in there and then twist it so it locks in there. And then you are going to put the other end to this hole right there. And again, this is a two-handed job, so I cannot do this and hold the camera. So, be right back. All right, well, I got a little ahead of myself here and finished this up without videoing it. Where we left off was here, and all we really had left on it was just install the fuel fitting and fuel filter, which there is a round gasket that goes right here. Make sure you put that on, and the new choke pull off and choke rod, and just making sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed and everything, it looks good on it. So I'd like to say this is up for sale, but it's not. It is for a customer. But if you would like your carb restored to look this good, please give us a shout in the comments. Please leave a comment. Positive only. I don't need any negative feedback. There's enough negativity out there. And quite honestly, there's nothing negative to say about this carb because it looks freaking awesome. We do pretty much every carb out there. We don't just do quadrajets. I do quadrajets Hollies, Carter's Edelbrocks, Strombergs, 1, 2, 4 barrels. Also build dual quads, tri-powers, restorations. One, three. You want 3 1 barrels for your, straight 6. You want a 6x2 setup, an 8x2 setup. We do all that. So if you like, please like, subscribe, and if you've got any questions, anything you need help with, need a carburetor, want one of yours restored, please let us know. And as always, have a good day, and thank you for watching.